Most people visit the Fort Worth Zoo expecting to hear the roar of lions, the trumpeting of elephants, and the laughter of families enjoying a day outdoors. But, according to local legend, when the gates close, when the crowds disappear, and the last lights begin to dim, some believe the zoo belongs to someone or something else. The haunting of the Fort Worth Zoo. The Fort Worth Zoo first opened its gates in 1909, making it the oldest continuously operating zoo in Texas. Over more than a century, thousands of animals have lived there, and countless employees have dedicated their lives to caring for them. It's a place filled with life, but also with loss. Like any location that's been around for over 100 years, tragedy has touched its history. And according to those who believe in the paranormal, not everyone ever left. The most famous ghost story centers around a man named Michael Bell, an elephant trainer who tragically lost his life in 1987. Bell was working with the massive 4-ton bull elephant during what should have been a routine enclosure transfer. Without warning, the elephant asserted its dominance. The situation turned deadly within seconds. Despite every effort to save him, Michael Bell died from his injuries. It was a heartbreaking accident that deeply affected the zoo staff and the local community. But according to countless ghost stories, that wasn't the end of Michael's rounds through the zoo. After the accident, employees and visitors began sharing strange experiences. Some claim they spotted a man quietly walking near the elephant exhibit after closing time. At first, they assumed he was another employee, but when they called out, no one answered. Moments later, the figure simply vanished. Others reported seeing the same man near the zebra habitat, walking calmly as though checking on the animals, exactly as an experienced keeper might. Some employees have even claimed they felt as though someone was standing beside them while working late, only to turn around and find nobody there. Was it exhaustion? A trick of the light? Or was Michael Bell still watching over the animals he loved? These reports remain part of local paranormal folklore rather than verified events. But Michael isn't the only spirit people say haunts the zoo. Perhaps the strangest legend involves a mysterious woman dressed in white. Witnesses describe her wearing elegant clothing from the early 1900s. She carries a delicate parasol. She never speaks. She simply walks back and forth near the zoo cafe before disappearing without a trace. No one seems to know exactly who she is. Some paranormal researchers believe she may be connected to the zoo's earliest years, when the grounds looked very different from what visitors see today. One theory points to Alice Imhoff, the wife of one of the zoo's earliest caretakers. Back in 1913, vandals broke into the zoo and brutally killed dozens of rabbits kept there. Newspaper accounts described Alice desperately trying to save the surviving baby rabbits, feeding them by hand with an improvised straw feeding system. She reportedly cared deeply for every animal under her watch. Later, changes in zoo management forced the Imhoff family to leave, a decision she reportedly accepted only with great sadness. Some believe the woman with the parasol could be Alice, forever returning to the place she refused to abandon. Of course, there is no historical evidence proving this connection, and it remains an intriguing legend rather than established fact. Then there are the animals themselves. Some overnight employees have spoken about hearing footsteps echoing through empty pathways. Others describe strange growls after exhibits had already been secured. There have even been stories of shadowy animal shapes darting across walkways before disappearing into thin air. Were they reflections? Real animals hidden in the darkness? Or something far older lingering among the exhibits? No one really knows. Many paranormal believers often ask a fascinating question: can animals see ghosts? Visitors have occasionally reported watching animals stare into empty spaces, suddenly becoming alert for no obvious reason. Big cats have reportedly fixed their gaze on invisible corners. Birds have become unusually restless. Elephants have stood silently, facing areas where no people were present. Animal behavior experts point out there are many natural explanations for these reactions, including sounds, scents, or movements humans don't notice. Still, for believers, those moments can feel impossible to ignore. Whether the Fort Worth Zoo is truly haunted is something no one has ever been able to prove. The sightings remain stories, passed from employee to employee, visitor to visitor, generation to generation. Perhaps they're simply legends born from a century of history, or perhaps when the final guests leave, when darkness settles over the winding pathways, when only the distant calls of animals echo through the night, someone is still making one final walk through the zoo, checking every enclosure, watching over every creature, just as they always did. And if you ever visit the Fort Worth Zoo, take one last look over your shoulder before you leave, because if you happen to notice a quiet figure standing near the elephant exhibit, or a woman in white carrying an old-fashioned parasol, you may have just encountered one of Fort Worth's most enduring ghost stories. If you found this story interesting, please share and like Texas Shadow. More to come.